Every day, around 200,000 kilos of tomato sauce are produced in this factory. To produce such a large amount, huge harvesters collect millions of fresh tomatoes. But how is tomato sauce made in factories? In this video, we will discover how one of the most popular sauces is mass-produced. During the tomato harvesting season, 50 million kilos are processed each year. 95% of the tomatoes harvested in the United States come from California. The warm days produce very tasty tomatoes. They grow a thick-skinned, firm tomato so that the machinery can pick and sort them without damaging the pulp. 2 or 3 weeks before the harvest, water is cut off. This period of drought concentrates the pulp, making it denser and meatier. After 90 days on the plant, these tomatoes are ready for harvesting. Technology has revolutionized the tomato business. This harvester is a factory on wheels operated by 4 workers. Sharp teeth cut the roots and send the tomato plants to a conveyor belt. The plants are carried up a belt to the harvester. Inside the harvester, metal prongs shake the tomatoes free from the stems. The shaker separates the heavier fruits from the plant and spits out the waste at the back, recycling it as fertilizer for next year's harvest. But the monstrous machine also picks up unwanted items like dirt, stones, and green tomatoes. A laser scanner separates the red tomatoes from the green ones, scanning everything that isn't deep red and preventing it from entering the machine. A belt transports the ripe red tomatoes to a trailer moving alongside the harvester. The best tomatoes are transferred to trailers capable of holding 300,000 tomatoes each. They fill about 24 truckloads of tomatoes per day, with each truck carrying exactly 22 tons of tomatoes to ensure minimal damage during transport. Once they have a 22-ton load, the tomatoes are delivered to the canning factory. There, the trailer is filled with water so the tomatoes float out through a side door. Every day, 2.5 million tomatoes enter the factory from July to October. First, a water jet propels them through a steel channel. The dirty water from soil residues drains through slits in the belt. The tomatoes land in a clean, water-filled channel where stones sink to the bottom and are removed. Passing the tomatoes through water channels protects them from bruising and starts the delicate cleaning process before further processing. The tomatoes float in a large tank where jets stir the water for a gentler clean. In the first bubble tank, bubbles keep the tomatoes suspended, moving and cleaning them simultaneously. Next, the tomatoes go to a sorting line. As they travel up a belt, they are cleaned with a sprayer. Then, an electronic sorter discards any damaged, discolored, or unripe fruit. Pneumatic fingers remove these tomatoes from the batch, all in less than a second. Those that pass the test move to the next phase. They are submerged in a hot bath that loosens their skins. The tomatoes then move through a peeler that gently separates them from their skins. The goal is to remove only the outer skin layer, leaving the rest of the tomato intact. A water jet washes the skins away through rubber discs, ensuring no dirt remains. After peeling, the peeled tomatoes move to another conveyor where sprayers give them another rinse. This conveyor controls the flow of peeled tomatoes to the processing area, dosing the product as it advances. The tomatoes fall down a chute into the slicer. The slicer has 2 giant stainless steel blades that the tomatoes pass through at high speed, almost imperceptible to the human eye. The conveyor belt carries them to the rotating blades, which can cut 4 kilos per second. The sliced tomatoes pass by workers who remove pieces that are not perfectly red as the tomatoes continue their journey. Meanwhile, another process begins in the plant. Depalletizers unload pallets of empty aluminum cans to keep a constant supply to the fillers. Meeting the filling demand on the lines is critical. When the cans finally reach the fillers, they are turned upside down and sprayed with ionized air to ensure they are clean and empty. The tomatoes are transferred to a grinder that turns them into a puree. This machine uses special blades to cut and grind the tomatoes into small pieces, allowing them to mix more easily with other ingredients. Once the tomatoes are ground, the resulting puree is filtered to remove any leftover seeds or skins. The filtering is done by a machine that passes the tomato puree through a series of sieves and filters to remove impurities and produce a smooth, homogeneous tomato sauce. It is important to remove the seeds and skins as they could alter the sauce's texture and flavor. Removing impurities also helps prolong the sauce's shelf life. After grinding, the tomato puree moves to the next production phase, cooking. The tomato puree is placed in large stainless steel pots, heated with steam, and continuously stirred to prevent burning or sticking. Cooking the tomatoes can take several hours. In another pot, a careful sauté of onions and garlic is prepared, producing a flavorful oil that will be mixed into the sauce. About 9 kilos of fresh garlic and onions are added to the pot filled with sunflower oil. The tomato puree is transferred to large mixing tanks where the sautéed oil and other ingredients like salt, sugar, spices, and vinegar are added. The mixing process is very important to ensure all ingredients blend evenly and the tomato sauce has a consistent flavor. The ingredients need to cook for 20 minutes to ensure proper homogenization. Each day, around 200,000 kilos of tomato sauce are produced in this factory. Once mixed, the tomato sauce is pumped through pipes to the pasteurization room. The mixture is heated to high temperatures to kill any bacteria or microorganisms and ensure a longer shelf life. Then, it is cooled to be packaged. After pasteurization, the tomato sauce is sent to the filling room. The cans are lined up, ready to be filled. The filling machine pours the tomato sauce into the aluminum cans. The packaging is fully automated. The cans move to the sealer where steam displaces all the air from the can. The sealer places a lid on the can and crimps and rolls the edges to form a hermetic seal. These aluminum layers create a barrier that prevents the product from contacting oxygen, giving the sauce a 9-month shelf life. The cans then move to the labeling machine, where they are turned sideways. Glue and a label are applied to the can, with hundreds of cans passing through the labeler every minute. Once labeled, the cans are packaged and prepared for shipment.